Hello and welcome back to the channel. We continue our journey through the Italian province of Lazio. And if in the morning we visit Viterbo and Bagnaia, in the afternoon we will visit Bomarzo and its famous Monsters Park. And the small but beautiful Bagnoregio, famous because the only way to access is by a bridge. And if you like our videos, don't forget to like, subscribe and activate notifications so you know when we upload a new video. As we mentioned, we continued our visit to the province of Lazio, and this time we visited Bomarzo. Bomarzo is in the valley beneath the Tiber River, and has 1,600 inhabitants. As for parking, you will have no problems, especially if you go in the season that is not high, as you can park in a couple of free parking lots. Both parks leave us right at the entrance of the medieval city. Historic feud of the Orsini family, one of the most important noble families of Italy during the Middle Ages and the Renaissance. Before entering the city gates, we encounter a statue of Saint Anselm, patron of Bomarzo, and whose festivals are celebrated in the town from 22 to the 25th of April each year. The medieval town of Bomarzo itself is small, and is made up of very narrow streets flanked by high buildings. We enter the universe of Bomarzo through a long tunnel, which invites us to get lost in its narrow medieval streets, in which we can find, at the entrance, the Palazzo Orsini, a Renaissance jewel built between the years 1525 and 1583. The historic center of Bomarzo is small in size, but large in height. And in it we can see beautiful examples of Italian Renaissance architecture. After a short walk, we arrive at the square where the Cathedral of Bomarzo is located. A cathedral of Renaissance forms, but that stands on an earlier Paleochristian building. And in which it stands out above all in its exterior, its elegant staircase in horseshoe shape. The Duomo itself is a very simple structure in the interior, although beautifully decorated with frescoes of the evangelists, and that keeps under the altar the remains of Saint Anselm. We continue to get lost in the streets of this tiny city, but at the same time enormous in beauty. Although the main attraction, and for what is most known, is the Sacro Bosco, also called the Park of the Monsters. The entrance to the Sacro Bosco costs €13, and was ordered to be built by Pier Francesco Orsini in the mid-16th century, being later sold to the also powerful Lante family in 1645. In it you will find a series of extravagant figures and constructions, beautifully made. that you will enjoy a pleasant walk through the park. You will find giant figures like Lorco, which is the most representative image of the park, the elephant or the turtle. But also buildings, such as the curious Palazzo Inclinato or the Templetto di Vignola. And after this fun walk through the Monsters Park, we're headed for our last visit of the day. We arrive at Bagnoregio, considered one of the most beautiful villages in Italy, which in antiquity had 6 entrance doors, of which only one is preserved, and to which visitors access via a bridge. As for parking, there is no free parking option, although they are also not very expensive. We use one near the entrance of the bridge, near which there is a view, where you will have a panoramic view of this beautiful environment, and which undoubtedly invites you to take pictures. Access to the city is not free, and it costs €5 for tourists. So we access a long bridge of about 300 meters, which connects the old Vita of Bagnoregio with the new Bagnoregio, and whose final section of climbing it is advisable to take it easy. Bagnoregio was considered a dying city, situated on a plateau with continuous collapses. And it has been reduced to an area of 90 per 150 meters, becoming almost uninhabited in 1965 after a strong earthquake. But fortunately, it has been revived by tourism, receiving up to 10,000 visitors per day. Access the Civita by the Porta di Santa Maria, which today is the only gate of access, and in which are strategically located a few seats, so that you recover from the final section of the climb. And so we enter this small but beautiful city, founded 2,500 years ago by the Etruscs. Arriving at the Piazza di San Pietro, where we can now delight in the beauty of this place. Due to the small width of what remains of the city, it is very easy to explore the sides of the main street by narrow side streets, which lead us to panoramic terraces, where we will have an excellent view of the surroundings of Bagnoregio. We continue to walk through its narrow streets, where few inhabited houses remain, which have been replaced by hotels, restaurants and souvenir shops. The next stop is the large Piazza di San Donato, a square of ground, where we find the church of the same name, located opposite the old municipal building of Bagnoregio, and whose original construction dates from the 5th century. Having such small size the city, you have the feeling that it will be a quick visit. But it is not so, as you enjoy every step admiring its beautiful streets. And so that you can enjoy it, let us leave the dialogues aside and let the images speak for themselves. Beautiful colophon for today. And without a doubt, if you are traveling around this part of Italy, we recommend 100% the visit to this small town.